Okay, so we have a really quick lesson here, and it's based off of the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so this first half is going to be pretty simple here. All right, but let's actually get the definition of the Pythagorean theorem. So what the Pythagorean theorem is saying is if a triangle is a right triangle, all right, so that's very key here. All right, it has to be a right triangle. Then the side lengths satisfy the equation a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Okay, and let's just do a quick recap on what that means. So if we have a right triangle, all right, remember it has to be right. A, B, and C represent the side lengths, all right, and remember C is the only one that really matters in the fact that it has to be the hypotenuse, all right, and that means that it's going to be opposite of the right angle, so that has to be C, and then the other two, it doesn't matter which one's A and which one's B, okay? All right, so if we look at example 1, all right, what the Pythagorean theorem is used for is to find the missing side lengths of right triangles, okay? So let's label these A, B, and C. All right, the only one that really matters, like I said before, is the one that's right across from the right angle. And so then let's label the XA and let's label the 22B, okay? So what we're going to get here is x squared plus 22 squared is equal to 25 squared. And then now we just solve for x. All right, so we're going to do 22 squared, which is 484. So x squared plus 484 equals 25 squared, which is 625. Okay, we're going to subtract the 484. And we get 141, all right? And so x squared is equal to 141, okay? Which means that x is equal to the square root of 141. And I believe that that doesn't simplify any further, okay? So that's our final answer. If it did simplify further, meaning we could like break down that radical, I would expect you to do that, okay? All right, let's try the next one. All right, same idea. All right, 11 is going to be your C. Let's let 9 be your B. It's a little hard to read. And x is going to be your A, okay? So we're going to have x squared plus 9 squared equals 11 squared, okay? All right, x squared plus 81 is equal to 121. All right, let's subtract the 81, and we're going to get 40. So we get x squared is equal to 40, okay? X is equal to the square root of 40, which breaks down into x is equal to 2 times the square root of 10. And that's our final answer, okay? So if you can break it down, I expect that you're going to break it down, okay? All right, let's try example 2. So example 2 then says, Damon is locked out of his house. The only open window is on the second floor, which is 2 feet above the ground, okay? He needs to borrow a ladder from his neighbor. If he must place the ladder 5 feet from the house to avoid some bushes, what length of the ladder does Damon need? Okay, so let's pretend that this right here is his house, okay? And the window is about right here, okay? So it says that the window is 2 feet above the ground. So this segment right here is 2. This segment right here is 2, okay? Then it says that he needs to borrow a ladder from his neighbor, okay? If he must place the ladder 5 feet from the house. So he's placing this ladder, all right, so he can get into the window, okay? So this right here is the ladder. But the ladder has to be 5 feet away from the house. So this segment right here is the 5. Right here. And we're assuming that the house is built at a right angle, okay? What we are trying to find is the length of the ladder. So the ladder itself is the hypotenuse, so this is going to be C, okay? So if we solve this, we're going to get 2 squared plus 5 squared is equal to C squared. 4 plus 25 is equal to C squared. 29 is equal to C squared, which means that C is equal to the square root of 29, okay? And because we are talking about like a real world scenario, all right, you wouldn't go into like a shop and say that I need a length of a ladder that's the square root of 29, right? So we're going to approximate that a little bit, all right, and say that that ladder is approximately 5.39 feet. Okay, and that's your final answer. All right, so I'm going to pause there. I'm going to come back and do a couple examples from example 4, and then finish up the notes.